Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is a question of how to learn to defend yourself. So, for this video, I'll explain in a simple and straightforward way how to be able to defend yourself so you can learn how to fight as soon as possible if you need to learn how to fight, okay? You know, in general for that matter, okay? Without the bullshit you get from traditional fighting systems and so on and so forth. So now that I mention that, let's get started. So when it comes to the topic of learning how to fight, for that matter, when it the truth of the matter, unlike what you've been told by the media, the truth about learning how to fight is it's simply down to understanding that fighting at its fundamental core is down to learning how to fight smart. In other words, it's about technique. Like let's just say, for example, someone tries to punch you, instead of trying to focus on dodging a punch and punching back as many punches as possible, I want to figure out a way I can end a fight as soon as possible. Okay. Someone tries to throw a punch at me, I parry it with one arm, grab his, you know, grab his arm and hold it and just punch him in the stomach with my, of course, other arm is an example of how fighting works, okay? Or a better example might, for example, be something like somebody tries to kick me. I move out of the way of the kick, move out of the way of the kick, and just punch and just grab his leg and just push him to the ground is an example of how fighting is actually supposed to work. Because when you actually look at the history of fighting from Muay Boran to, of course, traditional karate, and all that type of stuff going back further in time, most fighting systems were actually developed on a battlefield and were meant to end as soon as possible. From documented accounts, that the most it lasts for maybe like a minute and 50 seconds. Okay, fighting at its core is supposed to be short and straightforward because the more you drag it out, the more chances are likely your opponent can think of ideas. All these fighting systems like boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and all that type of stuff is more just simply meant for sport. Okay, to look good when you're fighting against a different opponent in front of the cage or something. Okay, but when it comes to actually learning how to fight properly, if you just want people to leave you the fuck alone, like maybe you're being badly bullied or any other type of stuff, is learning how to fight smart. And that's what you want to learn how to do, to put it bluntly, okay? And aside from, of course, that stuff, there's other things you have to keep in mind. Like, for example, do I know how to dodge? Can I learn how to dodge punches and learn how to dodge attacks for that matter? As well as can I, of course, learn develop my muscular strength, because the more you have muscular strength, the more likely that when you throw a hit, it's going to have a much greater impact on your opponent and all that type of stuff for that matter. Okay, that is the truth of the matter for that matter. Okay, and that is the truth. Okay, so when it comes to aside from those two things, if you can follow those two things, um you know at its fundamental core, aside from those two things, is just learning how to fight smart. And if you do that, then you're good to go from there. Okay, it's the techniques, you know that is what will help you learn how to fight. All this shit about, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, you have to do that, is complete crap. You don't have to do all that type of crap. Okay, you just simply do that. Okay, and the truth of the matter is, unlike, for that matter, traditional martial arts, oh boy, especially Asian martial arts, I'm not the biggest fan of, in honesty, for a lot of reasons. It's cool on movies, I have to admit, but in real life, it's just kind of useless for that matter. The truth of the matter is, when it comes to learning how to fight in real life, um, it's actually easier to learn how to fight in real life. Um, it's actually easier to think in this type of way. Okay, if you think in this type of way, you can start learning how to do it today. You can come up with scenarios on pieces of paper, for that matter. So, like I was saying before, for that matter, okay, to be quite honest with you, when it comes to learning how to fight, for that matter, okay, it's simple and straightforward. To be quite honest with you, you can start coming up with scenarios today and start thinking of things you can actually learn how to fight. You don't have to do all this silly stuff. you're used to for martial arts in general. You know, of course, oh my God, of course, you're here for Asian martial arts. You have to learn how to move with the wind and not against the wind or all that type of crap and be throwing punches back and forth like, oh, 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 like you see all the time people do. All that does is just waste your time. And it's like literally months they make you do that stuff until you start learning how to fight. When and a lot of times they might even teach you how to fight. It turns out to be a freaking fraud artist for that matter. Keep that in mind. So that's the truth of the matter when it comes to fighting is that you can learn this stuff today. Okay, as straightforward. You might have to practice if you can find someone to practice with. I don't know how to practice. You know, that's gonna work because the martial arts that they have don't teach you how to do that stuff. But the truth of the matter is, at its fundamental core, fighting is just down to that type of stuff. Okay, and you have to learn when you learn how to fight smart. You have to learn how to apply the situations, you know, apply everything to each particular situation. Because you might say opponent's going to do this and he's going to do that, but he does something very different. But if you can keep that in mind, then you're good to go from there. Um, to put it bluntly, and that's something you need to keep in mind. So that's the truth about learning how to fight. It's not what we have been taught in traditional media and stuff that it is. You can start learning as soon as possible. You don't have to waste time with no bullshit, throwing punches back and forth, all that type of crap. In all honesty, and next thing you know, you're walking on the street and that person who's bothering you or harassing you or just straight up bullying you for that matter just attacks you right then and you don't even know how to fight in a situation. That is not what something you want to experience or anyone wants to experience because that's obviously quite embarrassing, and that's the truth of the matter. So you don't have to do all that stuff, and you don't have to for that matter waste your time having to absorb an unnecessary, oh boy, here we go again, hearing some bullshit ideology and all that type of stuff that pretty much is just meant to make you lose your passion and interest in fighting in the first place. Okay, and especially if you're someone of color as well, of course, no surprise here, you want to keep these things in mind because it makes it obviously better for you to make sure that you can at least be comfortable and not have to worry about being attacked by someone for no apparent freaking real reason. Okay, so that's the truth of the matter. Okay, if you want to avoid having certain situations and stuff happen to you, okay, this is the truth about learning how to fight that you haven't been taught. And this is something that will be very important for you in life if you want to avoid having certain things happen to you for that matter. So anyway, this is my video. um all I have to say is that I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumb this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say. And simply put it, I'm out. So bye.